Hello everyone, welcome back to my 13th attempt at recording this video, where today we're talking exotic class items. So these were revealed during the Final Shape showcase Vidoc thing that we got about a month ago. Bungie kind of dropped on us like, hey, like double exotic type action. And then they were like, okay, as we got more information, like, okay, here's how it's actually gonna work. Like, it's not that crazy, like chill out. And so today they're giving us even more information on how these are going to be working, down to the exact perk rolls that you're going to be able to get on these class items. So let's start about where they're actually coming from. We don't know yet. They're keeping the activity that they're going to drop from a secret, and how to unlock it. But something that is very significant is the fact that they are not going to be available for the day one raid race. They are going to start dropping as of week 2. So anyone who was like worried about like, I got to rush through the campaign so I can start grinding for the exotic class item for the day one raid race, like don't, because they're not going to be available. Like you just, which is a good move. Like, I think that's a very good move, because all it takes is just one thing to be broken and just like all of a sudden the raid race is a joke, or all it takes is just one thing to like literally not be working the way that it's supposed to be working, and all of a sudden like the raid race is completely compromised, right? So I think this is a good move. I think for me, I think it was mostly expected. Like, this is such a massive thing to be adding to the game that it's tough to account for every single possible combination that could be happening. So I think it's a good move. I think it's a smart move for Bungie to do. So yeah, don't worry too much about trying to farm them immediately for the day one raid race, because it's not going to happen. You will also get a guaranteed random roll each time you complete the activity that these drop from. It is farmable, so like you're going to be able to farm as much as you want. So let's go over the perks. Now, I went back into that Vidoc to be like, you know, did they say how many perks? Did they ever give any hints as to how much you're really going to be able to take from other classes? And they never said like an explicit number, but the way that they phrased it made it feel like more than what we're going to be experiencing. So let's break it down here. A lot of this stuff in this paragraph is stuff that we already know. Like, you know, it's only going to be part of an the spirit of the exotic perk. And that they're also making some tuning changes. So, like, they give an example here. In Final Shape, the original Armamentarium and 6 Coyote will gain the ability to create orbs of light for your grenade and dodge, respectively. I don't think Armamentarium's in this list, but I know 6 Coyote is. So here's some of the perks. So these first 3, or 2 sets of 3. Assassin, Immos Light Ophidian, Verity, Synthesept, Star Eater. These are going to appear on every class's class item, no matter what. And then the next 5, we're at Hunter right now, you'll notice Dragon's Shadow, Shards of Galanor, Foe Tracer, Caliban. All of these are Hunter. And then we go to Titan. Oh, Armamentarium is here. All of these are Titan. So, and then Warlock, I mean, take a guess. They're all Warlock, right? So the exotic class item is still mainly going to be your class that you are going to experience. There's not as many perks from other classes on these as I originally thought. And I do want to apologize, because I do feel like I hyped this up quite a lot. I made it perhaps seem like you're going to be able to do literally anything that you wanted. I think that was just a lot of the hype talking and the excitement of this Vidoc and the excitement of this completely unexpected system. My bad on that. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I know that I was pretty liberal with my wording on what you were going to be able to do and the capabilities of this system. There's not as many perks from other classes, and I'm assuming that's just because it's a balance issue. Like, we all know, like we know how these perks work with Hunter and how they're balanced for Hunter, right? So I'm kind of getting the vibe of like, as a treat, we'll give you a little bit from the other classes, but we still want to keep it, you know, mainly your class. Let's get, you know, some of the wrinkles out, let's balance things, and then as time goes on, perhaps they can introduce more and more batches of spirits of exotic perks onto these class items. Or what I imagine might happen is they will make another class item with a different batch of perks, as opposed to trying to add more onto the thing that we have or that we're going to get in final shape. I think either option is viable, but to keep things maybe within the realm of balanced, they will release certain batches, kind of like what they're doing with Prismatic, where they're releasing a certain batch of abilities all together instead of like, you know, you can literally just pick anything that you want, because this game does need to be somewhat balanced. So I could see something like that, completely new item sometime in the future with more perks. I could see them adding onto this. Just depends on how they want to take it, how successful this system is, and a couple of other factors like balance, like keeping everything balanced. So, and I was a little disappointed by like how much you're going to be able to pull from other classes. Like you can still absolutely pull a little bit. I mean, Inmost Light and Verity, like for Hunter or any class really, like that's going to be probably a pretty potent combo. You know, there's a lot of theory crafting that we can start doing right now that we know exactly what's coming on every single item. We don't really have to like speculate anymore. Like, oh, what if Titan gets this? Now we know, so let the theory crafting begin. But yeah, this is what you're going to be able to do, and you know, you have exact descriptions of everything that all of these spirit of exotic perks is actually going to be able to do, how it's going to appear in game. So yeah, that is how that's going to work. Again, I apologize for perhaps hyping this up or giving incorrect or incomplete information. I was going off of incomplete data. I was just really excited for this system. So I definitely went a little bit overboard, and I'm sure some other creators out there probably also went a little bit overboard. This final paragraph down here, just like a little bit, we know we couldn't fit everybody's favorite perks into these without making the available perk pool too large. That was another thing too, is like if you have too many perks, then it can be really like, imagine, you know, like the grind to go get one of the core playlist weapons where they have 12 perks and then 12 perks, and then you have to worry about minor perks as well. Like, how big of a pain is it to go farm one of those weapons? It's kind of a pain, right? So the more exotic perks that they included, the more difficult it would be to find the combination that you wanted. It would make hitting the lotto really fun, but keeping it a little more contained makes it so it's actually feasible to go get the thing that you actually want. We're also making a set of exotic armor balance adjustments with the final shape, including some buffs that will impact both the original armor and its spirit version, so some of the class item perk combinations might end up being better than you expect. We'll have more to share about balancing in the coming weeks. I mean, we only have, what, 3 weeks left, something like that, until final shape. So that's going to be coming very, very soon. Yeah, that is another thing too, is like Bungie probably still wants people to have a reason to equip just like a regular exotic, not the exotic class item. So if you let things go too crazy, then you just completely move everyone's exotic option just to the class item, which, you know, that's not great. You don't want something like that, for the same reason you didn't want Prismatic to be the only subclass people ever pick ever again, right? So it all makes sense, but I was just hoping for, like, you know, maybe more like an even split instead of like majority your class. But like, what can you do? The rest of the TWID is just like a lot of stuff that we already knew. All deep sight weapons. In case you didn't watch my how to prep video, shame on you, because the thumbnail was a banger. How could you not click on that? But what you're going to be able to do is, for the rest of the season, deep sight weapons are dropping once per day from an activity completion from each individual season. Season Defiant, so you do a Defiant Battleground, you do a Salvage, you do a Savathun Spire, you do a Riven's Lair, and you're just racking up red borders. If there's one thing that you should be doing to prepare for Final Shape, it's going to get the weapon patterns from the past few seasons, or at the very, very least, the best patterns. That video is on my channel. Just go search it, you know, Final Shape, weapon patterns, blah, 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 blah. It's there. You'll find it. Or go watch the prep video. 0 hours coming up next week. That's fun. I've played on the new PvP maps. I like Neomuna the most, followed by the Root of Nightmares one, followed by the Europa one. I still would like to get a bit more experience on them, but I'm mostly liking them, at least compared to like the previous two maps that we've gotten, right? The previous two maps was like, you know, kind of big. Kind of big. Bungie also released some gameplay previews of Prismatic for each one of the classes, about a minute long, that we're going to go over in just a second here. But another thing is that you may have heard that for the next month or so, there's a lot of stuff that you can access for free, like Shadowkeep, Beyond Light, Witch Queen campaign, and then all of the seasons from this year. If you have PlayStation Plus, then you can also access Lightfall. When Final Shape launches, Bungie is finally making the campaigns for Shadowkeep and Beyond Light, along with Stasis, available for free for everybody. Now, you may have noticed the word campaigns for Shadowkeep and Beyond Light, along with Stasis subclass. Stasis subclass, great. Love that. But now we're getting like these packs. We're getting the Shadowkeep pack. We're getting the Beyond Light pack. What's it gonna take to just give the whole, like, just give Shadowkeep? Who's running Pit of Heresy anymore? Who's running Garden? Right? Just put the whole, I mean, okay, at least it's something. At least it's something, right? You don't have to worry about unlocking Stasis, whatever. Or, I mean, you still have to probably unlock Stasis, but you don't have to worry about it like going away. But just like, dude, like, it's like you just get so close. Just give Shadowkeep. Just give all of Shadowkeep, at least, right? But something's better than nothing. And then they're also gonna have a new pack called Legacy Collection 2024. This pack will give you access to some of Destiny's content: Lightfall, Witch Queen, 30th Anniversary Pack, Beyond Light Pack, Shadowkeep Pack, Forsaken Pack. Pricing unknown, but they're basically just being like, here's everything. Hopefully for like, I don't know, 30, 40 bucks. But knowing Bungie, it'll probably be like $49.99, maybe $59.99. I don't know. But we're at least making some progress with some completely irrelevant stuff getting free. Now, let's take a look at some of these gameplay previews, playtest previews, as they're being called. These are about a minute long chunks of a little bit of PvE, a little bit of PvP on each one of the classes in Prismatic. It's mostly a showcase. There's not too much new information to glean, but there are a couple of things that I do want to point out and have some commentary on. So let's take a look at the Warlock here first. So the biggest thing I would say is that all of these feature Transcendence, and we knew that Transcendence was going to give you increased ability regeneration, and that's all well and good, and we got a little bit of a hint of that during the gameplay preview, but things just, for me at least, hit a little differently when we can just see some gameplay for, like, you know, an extended period of time without someone like popping in and having some commentary or something like that. So just note your ability regen. Like, it's pretty fast. It is pretty fast here. We're also getting a nice look at the new now getting a look at the new buffs and debuffs setup. Even with what we're getting, if you watch the gameplay pretty closely, as things are happening, these buffs and debuffs are rotating so fast. So yes, this is a little bit helpful, and at least down here, like the rock, by the way, is the Forerunner catalyst. That's not anything new. At least we can move some information down here, but there's still gonna be a lot of information right here that is shifting near constantly. Not in this part of the gameplay, but in some other gameplays that we are going to watch. It's going wild. Hi, it's me from the future. Also, I'm going to interject real quick with regards to the UI and the debuff and everything. So in the gameplay from a month ago, they had the debuffs on the right-hand side of the screen, but I remember them also saying that there was some feedback that because we're so not used to looking at the right side of our screens during combat, that there was some feedback that it probably wasn't going to stay over there. But then they just kind of included it like back in the stack, and like I wish like just keep them, like call me the offspring, like just keep them separated, you know, just like have two different layers. So I'm hoping that even more can be done going into the future about how information like this, like especially like a lot of the debuff stuff. Like I think debuff stuff could be potentially moved somewhere else, or even just like above like put it right here, or just shift the buffs up and then have the debuffs down here, like 2 debuffs, and then your 4 actual buffs that you need to know. So even here, like, it's just like it's constantly shifting. We're getting a first look at Frost Armor. Frost Armor popped up when this person picked up a shard. We are also seeing Facet of Command, which was shown in the gameplay about a month ago. This triggered whenever or when this person hit with their Cold Snap Grenade. I don't think we really have too much information else on like what Facet of Command is actually going to do. We also saw Facet of Protection in the clip previously. Not sure what those do yet. But yeah, Frost Armor getting triggered by a shard. We're not sure exactly what Frost Armor does just yet. I mean, we have like a vague idea. It's probably defensive in nature, but that's about it. The rest of this is just a guy getting killed in PvP. So yeah, just I think these few clips have really cemented how significant activating Transcendence is going to be. Like, I knew it was going to be significant, but like, look how slowly this meter drains. Like, you get it for a while. Your abilities are juiced for a while. So that's really, really going to encourage people to make sure that they are mix and matching their abilities, their weapons, making sure you're filling both meters as quickly as possible. You definitely want to really, really juice your ability to go Transcendent. I mean, even coming out of the Transcendence here, right as it ends, like, that super's coming off, and like, that was a Strain super. This meter's like almost or more than halfway full already, perfectly timing a super coming out of Transcendence. So you just like figuring out those things, like the most optimal time to use your abilities to like be able to go Transcendent immediately again, like that's going to be huge. I'm looking forward to kind of learning a lot of those sandbox systems. Let's go to Hunter now. I think the biggest thing with Hunter that people have been seeing is not even really the PvP stuff. We got a little showcase of the new super, which is kind of neat. But the bigger thing has been this preview of the Nightfall. Activate Ahamkara skulls with taken energy. Kind of interesting. I think that's really the biggest thing that people have noticed, at least specifically with the Hunter stuff. I was also keeping track of the buffs over here. I mean, again, you can see, look how much they are shifting. Just any given moment, it's just like flip, 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 flip. Constantly rotating around. So it's, you know, not all of our UI problems are solved. There's still going to be some things that you got to keep track of when it comes to your buffs and debuffs. So there's only going to be so many things that this waiting, you know, priority system is going to be able to do. And now you're throwing in Transcendence, where you can get so many different buffs and debuffs from all the different subclasses. Like, there's still stuff that can be done. IMO. I think there's still more things that can be done. But at least this is a start. And then we have the Titan, some of the Titan gameplay here. Something of note is just how much Consecration spam is going out. I've been using Consecration quite a lot over the past, I would say, 5 to 6 months. I think it's really, really fun. Not that I think this is going to be something that's like super busted or anything. I don't think Consecration's super busted, but I think that's something that might entice some people to go check out Prismatic a little bit more. Is just like back to back to back, and I like Consecration. I think it's fun. But yeah, a lot of this is not anything that we didn't already know. I think if we didn't know about the class items, like seeing empowered abilities, I'd be like, oh, that's Heart of Inmost Light. They're using Heart of Inmost Light. And then if something else popped up, I'd be like, what? Soul Devourer and Refined Soul. That's all stuff related to Thorn. Don't worry about that. So yeah, just some cool previews here. I think I'm watching in like a 144p or something like that. So that's my bad. But yeah, a little taste of a different perk, Threat Remover. Perhaps instead of Threat Detector. Otherwise, gameplay looks neat. I'm very much looking forward to trying out Prismatic and trying to min-max Prismatic as much as possible. Class items, I'm definitely going to start doing some theory crafting right now. I think there's a lot of theory crafting that's already being done, even though we've only had this information for like a couple of hours. So pretty excited about that. But yeah, that is what's going on with exotic class items. A little Final Shape gameplay preview for you. And some more stuff finally becoming available for free. Still a lot more that we can do, but it's a start. So thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time.